Okay, cool. So what is the actual publication? Or you're just kind of doing it for your website?
So, Insightin2music, I founded it. I'm making it an online music blog / magazine. I'm just getting it off the ground, so it's going to take a lot of work, but I have 5 or 6 interviews that I'm going to be posting in the near future, you know, stuff that's in the works now, so hopefully it won't take long to get off the ground, but, you know, I'm trying.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll definitely, when it goes live, I'll tweet it out and do my best to promote it as well. So that's cool, though. That's really cool. You're doing something for yourself. That's awesome.
Yeah, I had been going for years. I had, tried to get with management agencies and, things like that, trying to work for somebody else. And one day I was like, hold on. Nobody else is going to make this job happen for me except for myself. So I sat down, made the website, bought the domain name, made the email and the Twitter and everything like that.
Well, good for you. That's really industrious. I'm the same way, because I'm a musician, obviously, and that takes a lot of, entrepreneurial spirit. But then I have a kids party business too, so it's just you kind of have to do that in this day and age. Nobody's going to care as much as you, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to interview you and call you and everything like that. Like, I really appreciate it. I know you're super busy.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem. I'm sorry that I haven't gotten the questions over to you sooner. I've been, I don't know if you've been, if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, but I've just been doing like tons of shoots and interviews and all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's usually I have a little bit more time, and then we have a show coming up this weekend. So it's been a little tough, but I will get the questions to you very quickly, over the next few days. So sorry about the wait.
No, it's okay. Take your time. I don't want you to feel rushed at all. I have so many other things that I'm working on too, and they're all coming in at around the same time. So.
Okay, great. Well, let's get started. Unfortunately, I don't have a ton of time, but I'm happy to give you, I have probably about 20 minutes or so. Will that work?
Yeah, that's fine. Since I had already sent you the questions, I just had a couple of things that I wanted to kind of dive into just a little bit. Not too much, but so as I was doing my research, I saw that you work with the Wear Your Music Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were still doing that or not. So tell me a little bit about it. I've never heard about it until I saw that you were working with them.
Yeah, well, I actually had never heard about them until a few years ago myself. I just kind of stumbled upon, because I do a lot of research all the time, just as a musician, just as far as trying to find, people to work with, whether it's a licensing company or a charity or any of that stuff. I spent a lot of time doing that, so I kind of stumbled upon them on a Google search, and they basically the sales of all of their, the artists that they represent, all of the their used guitar strings, they weave them into jewelry. So they'll make bracelets and stuff like that, and then all of the proceeds, or at least a portion of them, I don't know, they go to the charity of the artist's choice. So mine is the Brain Trauma Foundation, because my brother actually sustained a brain injury, several years ago before he eventually passed away. So I wanted to make sure that it went towards, brain injury research.
That is a great way to, number one, use materials, recycle them, and then another way for you to honor your brother, and honor your music too. You know what I mean? Just combine them both is really cool. I like that a lot.
Thank you. Eventually, I'd like to start my own organization, just because, you just never know. I mean, I'm sure they're a fantastic organization, and, they spend a lot of time and resources trying to research that, but there's always so much more that can be, researched about the human brain, because so little is known about it. So, I would eventually do something, for myself, to kind of honor his memory as well, when I have, the means to do that, so.
Definitely, you're passionate about it, I can tell, so that is something that you can do.
Yeah, just another one of my 10,000 projects that I have ongoing all the time.
I understand completely. 1 million projects and no time to do all of them.
Right, exactly.
So speaking of projects, are you working on anything new? I mean, you said you have a show going on.
Yeah, like I have another project with my songwriting partner Dennis. It's called SOC. And you know, we're just basically gearing up to showcase here soon. We've just been trying to really get the live show down to like a science. So we're actually playing a pretty big show on Saturday. It's a huge goth night out here in LA, and you know, usually like several hundred people will come out to it. So we've been really trying to hone in the show. Like we do a lot of crazy stuff. Like essentially, like it's kind of like an arena show that's like packed into, like we're only a duo, but you know basically everything that we're not physically playing is on tracks. But it's like this really theatrical live show, and like we do a lot of percussive stuff as well. Like I wouldn't go ahead and call myself a drummer necessarily, but I do like some percussion stuff, in between some songs with my drummer, and we really have spent a lot of time trying to make that live show awesome because, we want to take this project to the next level and, do some more extensive touring and, like maybe sign to like a big, like either a major indie or, like a major that is, fairly artist friendly. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good to work on your live shows because, I mean, you can edit anything on the computer. You record it, edit it, change it the way you want it. Like, it's one thing to have your album sound great, but it's another to have your live show just spectacular. So, because nowadays, that's what people like to go to, that's what they look for in an artist. Because I know that there's been artists before that I love their album, but I go to their live show and I'm like, you are not what I thought.
Well, yeah. Absolutely, because you know what? At the end of the day, like there's so much competition in terms of, like you're competing for people's time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
There's so many other things that people could be doing. Whether it's Netflix or Hulu or whatever. Like you don't, like for all intents and purposes, you really don't have to leave your house anymore if you don't want to. So you're competing with a lot of different elements. So you better make your live show good.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys said touring and stuff. Have you heard of Tecopa, in California, Tecopa Hot Springs?
Yes, actually.
Yeah, my dad, lives there. He, works and kind of runs the bistro and the hot springs and everything like that out there. They have a small stage. They're actually looking to start booking in October for, like, weekend shows and stuff. So I can definitely shoot you an email later on, like, at the end of the summer or something, and we can work something out if you guys are interested in it. I'll let you talk it over and, think it through, but it's definitely available.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Like, we're just looking to, play out all over the place and reach everybody, so.
And there's tons of musicians out there. My dad has a whole group that if, like, they don't have any artists booked or anything, like, they'll just play, and because my dad's a drummer. So, there's definitely a lot of inspiration out there. And,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're in LA, so you're pretty close. I mean, you're a couple hours away, but to me, that's close.
Yeah, I mean, like, we even consider Vegas to be close, which is about, like, a 4-hour drive or so, a 5-hour drive. So,
yeah, my dad's an hour outside of Vegas, so Vegas is a lot closer to us than LA, but yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. That's cool. Your dad's a drummer. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's been drumming since he could bang pots and pans, like.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, what was the other thing? So you have your solo career, and then you also have SOC. How do you find the balance between both of those projects, or careers, I should say?
Well, I don't sleep. I don't sleep, and it doesn't leave very much free time. Like I said, even, on the phone to you just now, like, I have another interview I'm doing at 1, and then I have a shoot from, like, 2 to 6, and then I have rehearsal. So, I mean, like, yeah, it's insane. Like, that my life is just kind of like this crazy roller coaster, and it doesn't leave much room for personal relationships. So it's just a lot of sacrificing. I mean, I don't have any balance. So, it's just the people around me, if they're true friends, and, if they really do care about me, they understand that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand completely. You said it's a roller coaster. Is it a good one, though? Do you enjoy the ride?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'd say most of the time, yes, but, it's very stressful, so it's not always easy, so it doesn't always, because, like, sometimes, like, all that's going on and maybe the finances aren't in line with that, and sometimes the finances are good, and then, like, it's just, like, the roller coaster slows down, so it's hard to find a balance in that regard, it's not always fun, but, at least what I can say is I'm living the dream. It might not be, it might not be exactly where I want to be, but at least it's some semblance of a dream. I'm not stuck to a cubicle. I work for myself. I don't have to answer to anyone but myself. So in that regard, I'm very happy,
Yeah, I mean, that's, at the end of the day, as long as you're happy and you're doing what you want to do, that's all that should really matter. Everyone's dream is different, So
absolutely.
I'm glad that you feel like you're living your dream. That makes me really happy because I'm working on that myself, on making sure that I am on track and in line to do what I want to do, not what anybody else tells me. So
absolutely, you gotta enjoy the day, and not to bring it back to my brother, not to be grim or anything like that, but you just never know when your number's gonna be up, so you might as well enjoy it, do what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
yeah.
Those are all of the, like, extra questions I had to ask while we were on the phone, since I had sent so many to you, via email. So I will give you some time to yourself before your next interview, give you some free time. But, thank you for talking with me. I know it was a fairly short interview, fairly short talk, but I'll definitely send you over the intro piece before I publish it and everything, just so you can read it through and everything. I feel like I should do that, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was gonna say as well, like, I think you're on a good path. Like, I do interviews all the time, and I actually used to work for a major newspaper. I had a column, like, years ago. I had an entertainment column, and I went to, like, journals in school and all this other stuff. So I was going to say, like, you have a very conversational style. Like, you make it seem like it's not an interview. So I think that, you have a pretty bright future ahead of you in that regard. Like, you have a very disarming kind of way about you. So I think you're on the right path, and I really wish you the best of luck with your website,
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. I've talked to people that have been in the business for like 20 years and they've been conducting interviews, and it's not as, like, relaxing as it just was. So, whenever I run across somebody with, that ability, I try to tell them,
Yeah, oh, thank you. Yeah, I feel like, at least for me, what I'm trying to get out of interviews is learn more about the person and really get to know them, and, like, ask questions that are more personal and more, and I'm working on my writing questions, and making them better, but, like, especially when I'm talking to somebody, there's so many interviews that you read, and it's, like, it's so impersonal. There's no, you really don't find out anything. So, I'm trying, that's what my goal is.
I have to on that. So, like, you did a really, really nice job. I just thought I should tell you that, so.
Oh, thank you. This was my first phone interview. All of my interviews have been online, so this was the first.
Really? Hey, well then you're like way ahead of the game,
Oh, thank you.
Sure. Well, I will get those questions over to you as soon as I possibly can, and thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Have a good rest of your day, okay?
I will. You too.
Okay, thanks. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.